a woman admired in the West for her quiet elegance and modern air. A presidential wife who shone in European dresses, while her people were bombed. Today, she lies in a hospital bed, clinging to a life that, at times, seems borrowed. Asma Saad's history is a mirror that reflects the excess, the betrayals, the stifled love, and the inevitable price of decisions made in luxury while bombs fell outside. Now, her body slowly collapsed from within, as if the distance were demanding an account for every silence, for every step she took by her husband's sides. This is the unofficial story, the one many don't want you to know. In December 2024, one of the Arab world's longest-standing regimes fell. The Assad's 54 years rule in Syria ended amid whispers of betrayal, with millions of refugees dispersed and a country turned into rubble. But they, the presidential family, weren't there to see it. They had fled weeks earlier. What seemed like a diplomatic visit to Moscow was actually the meticulous execution of an escape negotiated with the Kremlin. Bashar Assad knew his time was running out. For 5 years, he prepared his withdrawal. He sold everything sellable, siphoned off unthinkable fortunes, and filled 22 planes with dollars, gold, art, and documents. The estimate figure in hundreds of millions of dollars. They didn't travel light. Once settled in Russia, the Assads purchased at least 20 luxury properties, entire apartments in exclusive neighborhoods overlooking the Kremlin or the Moscow River, in areas where only oligarchs, legalized mafiosi, and diplomats with immunity resides. There, amidst Italian marble and glass ceilings, the family lives today. Some of the apartments are used as private residences, others as residence for their network of loyal employees, cooks, translators, bodyguards, chauffeurs. The siren power structure has been reduced to a colony in Moscow, but luxury doesn't dissuade the collapse. Asma Saad, the woman once compared to Jackie Kennedy by Western magazines, today struggles to breathe. Her body, stricken with acute myeloid leukemia, has become a silent trench where another war is being waged. Asma is 49 years old. She was born in London to a Sunni Muslim family. Her father was a cardiologist. Her mother was a diplomat. Curiously, her parents fled Syria in the 1970, precisely to escape the Assad regime. But decades later, their daughter would marry the dictator's son. Asma had dual nationality, and, in her youth, rejected anything that connected her to Syria. She even preferred to be called Emma. She was educated at the best private schools in England, and then at King's College London, where she graduated with honors in computer science and French literature. She worked at Deutsche Bank and then at J.P. Morgan, where she stood out for her elegance and discretion. Her life seemed marked by success and independence, until her mother's plan changed her destiny. Asma's mother dreamed a marriage that would unite her family with absolute power, so she began pushing for rapprochement with Bashar Assad, the son of then-President Hafez Assad. Bashar, at the time, was a young ophthalmologist in training, shy and politically uninvolved. But when his older brother died in an accident, everything changed. Bashar became the unexpected heir apparent, and in 200, he took power following his father's death. That same year, Asma visited Syria for the first time in a long time. She met Bashar at a family dinner, and just a few months later, they were married in a private ceremony, without the priest, without public witness, and without a red carpet. From the outside, the marriage seemed like a strategic move. Bashar was an Alawite, a religious minority. She was a Sunni. The union seemed like an attempt at symbolic reconciliation between warring groups. But privately, it was a different story. Asma tried to play the role of a modern first lady. At first, she avoided the spotlight. She made discreet appearance, promoted social causes, and spoke about art and culture. However, as time passed, her mask fell. Thanks to leaks from the opposition, thousands of emails came to light. They were hers. In the midst of the civil war, while the country was bleeding to death, Asma spent millions on designer shoes, antique furniture, and high-end jewelry. From her marble palace in Damascus, she ordered Venetian lamps, French cutlery, and limited edition watches. She came to own more than 300 pairs of shoes. In 2012, the European Union sanctioned her, along with other women from the Assad clan. They froze her assets and banned her from entering Europe. Her international image plummeted. Even so, within Syria, she maintained an aura of untouchability. Some saw her as a victim, others as an accomplice. But there was a moment, according to some reports, when Asma intended to flee, war correspondent Janine Di Giovanni reported that Asma had tried to escape with the help of diplomatic contacts. She was detained by her brother-in-law, a high-ranking military officer. When she returned to the palace, her body was covered in bruises. Since then, she faded away. She stopped giving interviews. She's avoided public contact, but she didn't abandon her luxury. Her eldest son, Hafiz, was sent to Russia almost a decade ago. He studied there at a private university. His brothers, Zain and Karem, were all secretly transferred months before the fall of the regime. Everything was calculated. The assets they will resist until the end. Their plan was always to flee. Today, that golden exile is marked by illness. In 2018, Asma was diagnosed with breast cancer. She received treatment, underwent surgery, and a year later, announced her cure. But the cancer returned, this time with a vengeance. In May 2024, she was confirmed to have acute yellow leukemia, an aggressive lethal disease. Its onset is believed to be related to the previous chemotherapy. Today, her body requires another round of intensive treatment and a bone marrow transplant. Did you know that many disgraced figures attempt to rewrite their legacy from exile? If this story is rippling you, subscribe now. We know more stories like this. We know unexpected twists, revealed secrets, and destiny shaped by power. Like and share this video with anyone you think needs to know about this dark side of modern history. Asma Cannon returned to the UK, where she could receive the best treatment. The sanctions remain in place. She also banned from most European countries. She receives medical care at a private clinic in Moscow. She has an international team of specialists, cutting-edge technology, and access to the latest medications. All paid for in cash, with no traceable bank transfers. The family life looked in a world of security, mistruths, and silence. They rarely appear in public. Rumor has it that Bashar has been seen in discreet meetings with high-level Russian officials, but his figure no longer carries the weight it once did. He has gone from being a dictator to an unwelcome guest. Russia protects him, but does not admire him. And Asma, she is slowly wasting away. Her face has changed. Leaked images from the clinic show her thin, pale, with a vacant stare. Some close associates claim she suffers from bouts of deep depression. Others say she no longer speaks, that she only writes, that she fills notebooks with thousands memories, that she relives her life as if trying to find meaning. But there is something more disturbing. There are reports that Asma has asked her husband to let her die in peace, that she doesn't want any more treatment, that she has resigned, and although this has not been officially confirmed, those familiar with Asma's inner circle says he refused, that he won't let her go, that he still needs her as a symbol, as a companion, as a witness to his ultimate defeat. Is this the end of the woman who was called the Desert Rose? Is her suffering a natural consequence, or is it something deeper, more symbolic? Perhaps Asma Assad's story is not just that of a woman trapped in a power marriage. Perhaps it is also the story of a conscience that never fought peace, of a woman who had everything but could never decide for herself, of a life marked by silence, jewels, high walls, and decisions made by others, of someone who learned too late that a gilded cage is still a cage. If you were moved by this history, subscribe to the channel. Every week we reveal hidden truths, destinies crossed by power, and human history you won't see on the news. Leave your opinion in the comments. Do you think Asma was a victim or an accomplice? Is her and poetic justice or just another tragedy among thousands? Thanks for watching, and see you next time.